And welcome to the first ever episode of All Talk No. Right, I'll get it. It's all good.
You got this.
Hello everybody and welcome to All Talk No Clothes, the podcast by Unveiled Appeal, talking all things body positivity, normalising, nudity and naturism. My name is Ryan, and each week I hope to bring you fantastic and inspiring guests and hopefully even better discussions to hopefully help and inspire you to love your body. Coming up in this episode, we will discuss if the new Paramount Plus show, Dating Naked, positive or negative for body positivity and or naturism. In our first ever Nude Natter, we talk about the advice we give to begin to become more confident in your body, and we talk about nudity and the big differences around it in the UK and the USA. All that and possibly more on the first ever episode of All Talk No. It's okay. There'll be a lot of edit. That's so.
No worries. You got this.
But first, it's time for me to introduce our very first guest. They are a model, a body positivity advocate, and in their own words, they enjoy celebrating the human form. I'm delighted to welcome Kyra to the podcast. Hi Kyra, how are you?
I'm good. How are you?
I think I'm surviving. There'll be a lot of jump cuts in this first episode because I think people have kind of forgotten that Ryan's got a stutter and they've voted for a podcast name that I can't quite say yet. But we'll get there.
Exactly.
So I'm going to start every interview with this one question, Kyra. And as you're the first guest, you're the first person to answer it. So, would you say that you're body confident or body positive yourself?
I would say that I'm more body positive, mostly because I struggle with body confidence. Yeah, I'm more body positive than I am body confident.
That's very interesting to me, actually, of how some people do say that there's a difference between the two, and others say that they're the same thing. So it's very interesting that you see them as a difference to me. But anyway, moving on. This segment is more about the guest than about my opinions. I need to remember this, right? It's the first episode, ladies and gentlemen, right? Mm-hmm. I'm not very good at this yet. Just bear that in mind, right? Anyway, we'll
no worries.
Fire away anyway. It's very warm when I am, and when I get warm, I can't speak. So, if anything, this is going to be the first episode of outtakes, if anything. Right.
I'm okay with that.
When you were growing up, were you were your family body positive as such?
Not at all.
Were they open-minded at all?
They were supportive of my modeling, but I had clothes on. So that would be, I would say that would be the most open-minded they was of my modeling. But my mom knows now about my positive coconuts and that I advocate for body positivity, and she doesn't necessarily agree with me taking off my clothes, but I was like, I'm an adult, so you don't have to agree.
That's the thing. We can all do what makes us happy, I guess, but not everybody has to support it. But as long as everybody is more maybe open-minded isn't the right way of saying it, but as long as people are
accepting,
happy, as long as people, and happy to let people. I don't really know how best to say what I'm trying to say here, but yeah, as long as people are respectful and like allow people to do what they want to do, as long as it's not harmful to anyone, then that's all we're really at. That's all any of us are really asking for, really.
Absolutely.
So it's still pretty cool that it's not something. It's something that they obviously you're happy with, and they're happy that you're happy, even though they might not fully understand or support what it is.
Yep. Absolutely.
So, speaking about your modeling and your body positivity stuff, how did you get started?
So I started modeling. I grew up with my dad working in the movie industry, and I was super into modeling when I was a teenager. And I took some acting classes and things like that. My parents were very much supportive of me taking that path as a career. And then I met a boy when I was 18 and fell in love and stopped doing it. And then we got married and had a baby, the whole like white picket fence scenario. But that didn't work out. And so he and I split up, and then I met the man that I'm married to now. And he was very much like, you should get back into modeling. And I was like, no, I'm old. I have a baby. My body's not the same. And he's like, no, like you can't look at it that way. And so when I met him, we've been together almost 5 years now. And so when I met him, he was very supportive and kind of, I wouldn't say he pushed me, but he very strongly encouraged me to get back into it. And he was the one that was like, let's share this with the world, because he could see how much I struggled with the positivity or body confidence in myself. And so he was like, other people struggle too. Let's make this a thing. Let's share it with the world and let everybody know that they're not alone. So it's actually been kind of a long journey for me. When I was modeling, I felt so confident. And then as soon as I wasn't behind the camera, it was like all that confidence just left. And so it was very hard to basically see myself in that kind of a light. And so, but now that I've been sharing it with the world, essentially, it's been eye-opening, knowing that I'm not alone. I kind of went off script there, but that's how I got started.
It's awesome, and this is why this is one of the main reasons. I'm sure I've spoken about this to you before recording tonight, but this is one of the main reasons why I started Unveiled Appeal and why I started the podcast, because especially nowadays, I mean, it was awesome that your partner kind of supported you and like helped you. Not necessarily. Yeah, well, give you a little push to motivate you to even start. But it's one of those things where, especially nowadays, with a lot of the big brands and the big sectors of like fashion and beauty, I'm trying to say, they are still pushing out this narrative of please buy your product because it will help you do this, and it's like, no, we don't need that narrative anymore. And then we also assign it to like naturism and stuff, and everybody thinks, yeah, it's only a certain demographic I think that way, and it's like, well, no, I think that way. Kyra thinks that way. Loads of other people think that way, and it's like, I mean, it wasn't until I started my own pages, and I'm like, wow, other people think and feel like I do about how people view this type of, not necessarily content, but how people view adverts for a start, or magazines as well. And it's one of those things where it's tough. I think it's personally, and this is my opinion only, just to clarify. But I personally think there's a lot more made around bodies and nudity and stuff towards females more, like beauty and fashion and stuff are more aimed at. There's obviously adverts to do with males, but it's more. I don't know how best to say this without backing myself into a corner here. But when I see adverts on the TV or in magazines, there's a lot more aimed at females and products to help them feel a certain way or look a certain way. And it's slowly changing, and I'm sure we'll talk about this a bit later when we're talking about the media and stuff. But it's not changing fast enough in this narrative of the perfect body. It's like everybody's got the perfect body naturally already because the perfect body for them. Just my opinion, but it's all these big brands are focusing on makeup and things, and it's like we people will start realizing, hopefully soon, that yes, it's nice to have all those things, but you don't necessarily need to. But I guess there's these big brands and big sectors are very good at advertising and very good at wording these things, and if everybody didn't believe the hype as such, all these big brands would go out of business. Just my opinion, but
I agree with you.
I after me also going a bit off ripped and having a rant earlier on, we shall move on. So, thinking about more body positivity stuff, was it always supposed to be about body positivity, or was it mainly a personal project first? Like,
so when we got started, and I say we because my husband has been very much a part of the journey, it was more of a way for me to feel comfortable and confident in my own body. But then when I started seeing how much my positive posts were helping other people, and people would come to me and explain to me things that they were struggling with, I realized that it was about much more than just me. So I think that's kind of what made it turn into what it is. It's very much, yes, it's for me to help me. And that was the main reason that we started. But now it's more for everyone. And mental health is a huge topic that is not talked about. And I am very much like, I want to share the fact that I struggle with that. People are always telling me that, oh, you're gorgeous. You don't have anything to worry about. You don't need to lose the weight. You know, be who you are and how you feel. And while like all that's great, I still struggle. I'm human, you know? And so it's kind of fun, I guess, in a way to be able to share these sides of me, showing people that we are just human and it's okay that we go through these things, while also kind of helping myself remind myself essentially that it's okay, because I have a very bad habit of beating myself up. I internalize things. So it's a good reminder for me, and if I can help people while helping myself, I'm all for it.
awesome. You answered that so well. I was kind of like, I don't know where to go after that now. It was like, yeah, I'm now a bit lost for words, because I was just sitting nodding away going, yep, I get it, yep, definitely. Now I'm like, I forgot my next question now. It's fine. This is why I write it down.
Exactly.
Yeah, that's awesome. Like, I don't personally post myself, right? So this question, I'm sure, will help others a bit more than myself. But like, see the the main issue of people not feeling positive within themselves, right, is that they always worry about what other people think and about possibly receiving negativity or stuff that they don't expect.
Mm-hmm.
What would you say to dealing with things like that, and how do you deal with potential negativity and such?
I sometimes let it get to my head, but I just try to remind myself that I'm not doing it. I mean, I'm doing it for everybody, but if they're going to come at me in a negative light, I'm not doing it for them. I'm doing it for the people who want the help, or who basically who it makes people feel good about themselves, you know? And if they're going to come at me negatively, that's because they're not happy in their own life. And I'm very much like, if you don't like it, don't look at it. So move on. That I'm not hurting anybody. I'm not hurting you. There's absolutely no reason in the world for you to come at me like that. So it's very much like I kind of brush it off my shoulders after I feel the feelings, because I am human. I do care about what people think of me. So I very much accept that, and then I wallow in it and I feel it, but then I go, you know what? That's them. That's not me. I'm not hurting them. They can just move on. It's as simple as that.
Perfect. That question just kind of came to me, but I guess it's an important question to ask, because it is one of the big things that people talk about when we talk about body positivity and naturism or anything. It's all about what they've heard or what they've seen or what they assume will be other people's opinions or reactions if they find out about this stuff. And most of the stuff that they hear, especially about naturism, because I'm more from a naturism side myself, but most of the stuff that they hear is either like some untrue statement that's been embellished by someone else that heard it from someone else, or it's because they've had their own opinions kind of narrowed down by what they've heard in the media, of what they've heard in social media. And what I say to people is, when it comes to things like finding out about anything, really, is do your own research, ask your own questions, and also put yourself out there if it's something that you want to know more about, if it's something that you want to find out about, if it's something that you or someone wants to get involved in, ask. And that's the best thing. That's one of the best things about social media just now, is somebody can put a post out asking a question and receive multiple answers from people that they've never met before, and then they get a better idea of what it's actually like, instead of something that they've heard elsewhere. Yeah, and it's like, but you don't really know these people, and it's like, well, if the majority are saying the same thing, then surely we all can't be wrong. Well, we can still be wrong. That wasn't a very good way of putting that, Ryan. Come on now. Right, moving on. And our first media Yae Or Nae, as I like to say, because I'm from Scotland. Basically, Yae Or Nae means, is it a yes or is it a no? That's all, basically. I'll be saying it's I'll be saying it's good publicity or good helping us with our messages, or is it bad? Basically, that is this segment in a nutshell. And we are going to basically talk about how entertainment and television and such can help us maybe towards helping the masses of the population to feel more body positive about themselves and to feel more confident. And this is what this segment is all about. So there's a show on just now on Paramount Plus called Dating Naked. Have you heard of this show, Kyra?
No, not until I read the prompt for this. Yeah.
I am very well prepared. You see, I put a prompt in. So basically, for those who aren't aware, I'm sure there was an American version of this. I've got no idea what platform it was on, but Dating Naked UK is currently on Paramount Plus. # not paid, # not sponsored. But that show is basically going to help us to talk about this subject, hence why I'm mentioning it, right? So the big executives that want paid for sponsorship, no thanks. So basically, we're going to talk about how TV can help us towards a body positive, more confident population when it comes to body positivity and nudity and such. But this show, The Dating Naked, is basically five men and 5 females, and basically they walk into a house, butt naked as the day with the born, and start dating. Basically, I will read what the internet says about this show instead of me trying to summarise it. Well, it said Dating Naked UK or even Dating Naked US. Who knew? Dating Naked UK is a British reality dating game show. I don't know why it's a game show, but I watched a few episodes and I still wouldn't call it a game show, but there you go. It's shown on Paramount Plus, which debuted in August 2024. The show is an adaptation of the American TV show just called Dating Naked. Unlike the American show, nudity is not blurred, as well as in the German version. That's very interesting. In America, it's the show is obviously censored for whatever reason whatsoever. Mm-hmm. But in the UK and in Germany, I guess we are more certainly the UK is a bit more forward thinking and open in terms of the law to non-sexual nudity. So it's interesting that the show that's in the UK and the show that's in Germany is uncensored, but the American show where the show was premiered is censored. Interesting. So my first question was going to be, is the fact that it is uncensored and the UK audience is getting to see various body shapes and sizes a potential positive for body positivity and or naturism? Help. The fact that it's censored is a positive, I think, personally. But in the two episodes I watched, there wasn't a lot of versatility when it comes to body shapes and sizes, really. There was one or two that were plus size, but not. This is why they say podcasting is difficult, because how do you give an opinion without putting yourself in a corner? There was very body types, but still within the realms of. It was definitely based around attractiveness and the romantic idea of the show than a real positive towards body positivity and broadening the horizons of body shapes and sizes and people seeing a body similar to what they have instead of this ideology of the perfect body. If that makes any sense.
It makes absolute sense. It's the media standard.
And it's like, yeah, I think it's a positive that it was uncensored, but it's uncensored, but it's still heavily. It's a show that's heavily still connected to, yes, we're naked, but we still need to be attractive because it's a dating show.
Yep.
And not, we are here to be naturally who we are. And if we find love, amazing. If we don't find love, at least I've been my true self.
Mm-hmm.
That's how I thought about it. Like, it could have been more. It could have been more. The obviously the main premise of the show is the fact that they're uncensored and they're naked, right? But I think, and I mean, it's an entertainment show. It's never going to go down the road of everybody can be who they are, and let's take away all the barriers of fashion and makeup and stuff, and let's see if they can find their personalities more attractive than what their bodies look like, or I don't. There was a TV show over here that was called Naked Education, and that went as the name suggests, Kyra. It was more about educating people about different body types, and the premise of the show was a lot better in terms of body positivity and stuff, and it was nothing to do with romance or this idea of nudity, this idea of a person's naked, let's think about sex, right? It wasn't to do with that. The main problem with that show is that there was a lot of backlash because there was times where there was fully naked people in front of teenagers. I mean, everybody was background checked and everything was safe, but the majority of people aren't that open-minded to not assume that the weird stuff is about to happen. So that show didn't really work over here. Then you've got things like naked attraction. Is that just another pretty? Surely most of these shows. I'm now beginning to think most of these shows don't have versions in different countries, which means this makes it harder to talk about.
Yeah, they're different.
But it's like Naked and Afraid, for example.
Mm-hmm.
Naked and Afraid is about survival and about about how someone would survive without technology and stuff, and yet that's still heavily censored, and I don't know, like, even the shows, I know all of these shows are made for entertainment purposes, and it's all to do with the audience watching them and stuff, but we need to get away, television itself, and even movies, have to get away from this idea of being naked is weird. We need to have a more forward-thinking, like, TV show that highlights more body positivity and not this. Oh, that a person is naked, so we should instantly think about love or attraction, or I don't. I don't like. What's is there a body positive like show over in America, or is it? I don't know. I don't know about American. I don't know about American television. Everybody, It's just, I mean, I seen this question on Twitter the other day, and it's like, what can TV do more to help us towards body positivity? And all I said is show more open-minded, natural, and varied content that isn't pigeonholed to be a six-pack or
absolutely
women with big chests or tiny waists, or it's like it also goes back to what I said about adverts earlier. It's the same type of people that you see in these things, and it's how like I know that the reason that not many shows show versatility as such is because it's all about what people want to see or what people think is attractive, or it's all about numbers, and it's all about catching the eye. And it's like, no, we need adverts for makeup, or I don't know, for any product. We need to show like everyday, I don't know how best to put this. We need to show more versatility in terms of models and body types, and like, for example, just because it's like, say it's like a perfume or an aftershave brand, for example. Why does it have to be a man? Why does it have to be a man with a six pack? Or why does it have to be like a woman with an hourglass figure? It's perfume or it's aftershave. Like, I don't know how best to put that, but I hope people see where I'm trying to get to. Yes. Sorry, this is just an episode of me ranting, isn't it? I keep forgetting where I am. Right. I will get better at this. I will.
I have no doubt.
It is one of those. It makes my mind boggle that it's 2024, and yet the majority of people still kind of fixed on this perfect body kind of ideology that these big brands or sectors are pushing out. And if people like us push back against that, we are seen as the crazy ones a little bit, because we're like, how do you think that? You can't think that. Why, why do you think that? Like, people think that naturism is still for the older demographic, and it's like, no, I am 29. I am here. I am like, I don't know. There's a lot that I probably unpacked in this episode already, and we're only in the second segment. But it drives me insane, Kyra. I don't know how you feel about this whole media idea. Like, how do you think entertainment and adverts and stuff could help us to feel better about ourselves?
I think by showing that it's okay to accept these things and not sexualizing everything.
Yeah, that's a brilliant way of. They do seem to sexualize it a lot.
Mm-hmm.
Yep. That's what I was trying to get to. See, I just need to stop talking, and then someone goes, "This is what you were trying to say." Yes, they do. I mean, this is another question probably for another episode, but I'm gonna try it to see what happens. Is it more of, do TV shows and movies and adverts, etc., sexualize it more because they know that's how the majority think, or that's what they want to watch? Or is it, I don't know, is it due to the majority of the public's perception on these things that these TV companies and stuff sexualize it more? Or I don't know how best is to word that.
I think I know what you're asking.
Yeah.
Like how why do they sexualize it, essentially? Like, do they think it's going to sell more?
Yeah.
I would say yes, 100%. I think especially the male population, that's, at least here in the U.S., that's kind of how they think. As soon as they see a woman who is wearing short shorts and a crop top or a low-cut shirt, automatically they're like, she wants to have sex. But that's not at all the case.
Yeah.
Like, she wants to dress that way to feel good about herself, and it's not asking for somebody to touch them or to tell everybody that they want to have sex. It's all about how they feel about themselves. And I think men and even women do it. When they see that, they sexualize it, and that's where sex sells. So the media will do that.
Oh, I've just thought of another question, right? But it's interesting because what this podcast can also do is when it's posted, people can comment and people can write on social media their thoughts and their opinions on these things, and it gets more people talking about those things. So this is why I'm keeping trying to ask questions and trying to spark little tangents and stuff, because there'll be a lot more people that will want to talk about these things but didn't know that other people want to talk about them. My friends especially, I'm 29, and you get some of them who, because of the previous generations in their family, will totally think one way and think of this idea that nudity equals sex, and then you get some of my other friends who are more open-minded like me, who can differentiate between being naked and the intent to be sexual, because that's what I think. That's what I think the big difference is.
Mm-hmm. I agree.
Sex is all about intention. Maybe I'm wrong, but I personally believe that to be sexual is all about the intent for it to be sexual, and being naked is just a natural part of life. But yeah, my follow-up question to the previous question was going to be: Do you think for it to change, it's about changing the opinions, or not changing the opinions, but is it about reaching younger generations? Does that make sense? Like, is like, I guess what I'm trying to ask is, like, the people that think that sex sells, is it a demographic? I don't know if it's a certain demographic, but I know exactly what you're talking about when you talk about the whole idea of a female wearing a certain type of outfit or not, but and it's like, over here, people would say that the person was asking for it, and it's like, well, no, they were just wearing an outfit, and someone had the intention of it was someone else's intention to see that outfit as something else. Mm-hmm. And it's like, that's completely different. Anyway, shall we move on to the final segment?
Sure.
In our final segment of this episode, it will be our first Nude Natter, as I'm calling it. After all, this is all talk, no laws. Yes, and I still can't say the name of the podcast. Anyway, and in this segment, in each episode, my guests and I shall say, I can't speak English, I promise. My guests and I will talk about a slightly bigger topic than what we've already spoke about, and it's the final part of the episode. So it will either stop after we've both run out of things to say, or when I play the jingle at the end of the episode. Whatever comes first. So I will get better at this format stuff, believe me. So the bigger topic that we're going to talk about, because I'm from the United Kingdom. Kyra is from the United States of America. So I guess, and as it's the first episode, we haven't spoken about this topic before. We're going to talk about the big differences around nudity between the United Kingdom and the USA. Cause, why not? As if that's not a big enough topic as it is. Right. So I can think of a big difference right off the bat, Kyra. Over here in the United Kingdom, as long as I'm minding my own business and not intending to be sexual or cause harassment to anyone, I can go around stark bollock naked if I really want to. That's not the same over in America, I don't think.
Absolutely not. You will be arrested.
And just to clarify, because I have spoke about this at length, not on the podcast, but with other people, and it varies from state to state. So as if life can't get any more complicated enough, it goes by state, as far as I'm aware.
Yep.
And I mean, it's my own opinion again, but the fact that being naked is more upheld than other laws in the United States baffles me.
Mm-hmm.
And that's all I can say without backing myself into another corner. But yeah, it's even as we touched on earlier, even on television, even on the Date Naked show that we were speaking about, or I touched on earlier, our version of that is fully uncensored. In America, any show containing any sort of nudity is immediately censored. And that could be literally anything.
Because no matter what, if you see a naked body, people assume you have sexual desires.
And what is... I keep going back to it, but what is that telling future generations, and how are we going to get away from all this? We're not. Anytime soon. Like, big changes have to be made in every country. Like, I didn't think the United Kingdom was I didn't think of my own country as a very forward-thinking country until I seen how many laws and rules and stuff that there is in the United States, and my computer ran out of battery before I could go to the bottom of the page. Like, it's mind-boggling. And then obviously it's very hard. It's very hard, especially for you being American, to kind of push against this and promote positive messages, and it's bizarre. And another topic that I was going to ask you about on this is, what would be the first bit of advice you would give someone towards thinking or feeling more positively about themselves?
I would say that everybody is unique in their own special way. I think so. One of my favorite things in the world are snowflakes, and it's because every single snowflake is different. There's not one single snowflake that is made the same. Yes, we're all human. Yes, we're all genetically made up the same, but we're really not. And the way people think and the way things affect other people, it's all different, and it's all about your perspective and how you see the world. And if you are seeing the world in a negative light, then you're going to attract negativity. So I think that it's important to fill your mind with positive thinking, positive intent, learning to do things that are healthy for you. Like not necessarily like self-care is a huge thing for me. Last night I was having some feelings. I was all up in my head. So I went upstairs and I laid on my bed and blasted my favorite artist as loud as I could and just stared at the ceiling and sang. And it was so relieving for my mental health to just do something for me. And so I think it's important for everybody to put themselves first. Don't always put everybody else before you. Love you, love who you are because you're unique. And the world wouldn't be what it is if everybody was the same. That's my thought.
I absolutely love that. I started the hashtag the other day. Be proudly unique, and I absolutely mean that. Because put it this way: if a higher power or whomever wanted us to all be the same, then we would have been made that way. It's just I would personally say do what makes you happy. Being unique is a positive. It's not a negative. Don't kind of. I know it's very hard in this day and age, but don't compare yourself to others. If you can be a trendsetter, be a trendsetter. I like to say, make the road that other people can follow, and that could literally mean anything for me. Some people may know this and may not know this, but I am physically disabled, so I've had to mentally and physically get over quite a lot. And people say to me, "You've got such a positive outlook in life," and it's like, well, if I don't laugh, I will burst into tears. And it's like, well, if you can't laugh your way through something, then what else can you do? And it's just, there is a lot more worse things happening in this world, and basically, but without sounding funny, like, just do what makes you happy. See, as long as you're not causing harm to yourself or others, then enjoy it. Is what I would say. Like, once you put everything into perspective, it's as long as it's not hurting anyone, then I think let people be themselves. But I hope people who are watching this in the future have enjoyed this. Certainly you've enjoyed what Kyra's had to say more than me. I understand. It's fine. I get it. I will get better, I promise. I will also have a haircut for the next episode. Imagine that. But yes, I will get better. If I can't get better with the speaking part, I will just hire a doppelganger. Nobody will know, will they? And I hope everybody's enjoyed this episode. If you have made it to the end, let us know in the comments. You can find us on social media. I don't know if I said this at the beginning, but you can find Kyra at Positive Coconuts on X, formerly known as Twitter, and you can find Unveiled Appeal at Unveiled Appeal, and you can find the podcast. You all know the name of the podcast by now. It's plastered everywhere. Do I really need to try and say it again? Alright, okay. All talk, no clothes.
You got it.
No, the video wasn't buffering, it was just my startup. Thank you for watching, if indeed you still are. Thank you, Kyra, for coming on to the podcast and putting up with my absolute nonsense.
You are welcome.
And I'll see the person watching this next time. Bye.